Good morning, welcome to the SIPS panel house and tips on tiling with large format tiles. The first tip I'll give you is, if you can afford it, get somebody else to do it. Find yourself a good, competent tiler, get yourself 3 quotes and get somebody else to do it, because if you're going to do it yourself, be prepared. It's hard work. It's very, very hard work. First of all, you want to make sure that you've got a good slab and a good surface to work with. If it's ocean waves, then you're going to have to grind off the high spots and fill in the low spots with self-leveling cement. Then get your tile. These are a external 450 ceramic tile with a rough surface. You can't pick them up with a suction cup because the surface is too rough, so it's all got to be lift and stretch. You've got a patterned back surface, and with these tiles you have a printed face, and in this particular style that's made in Australia in the Hunter Valley, which is more known for its red wine than its tiles, these guys come in a pattern that is repeated about every 30 tiles. Also, often the pattern is offset slightly, so you'll get differentials, but you don't want to get the same tile beside each other, or in 2 or 3, or even close, so that you're laying out the tiles to start off with and saying, okay, this way, whatever. No, this is too close to that one, it's the same as that one. And you're getting them so that you have laid them out dry before you're gluing, and you know that this one is going to go there. You take it off, you put it off to the side in the right orientation, so that you know this is the front edge that I'm going to put there, so this is going on my rotating tile back butter device, okay, and that's front and that's F. So when I've done the back buttering, which I just physically can't hold the tile, do the back buttering and then move it around, make sure I've got all the back buttering right, then put it down. It's hard, it's too hard. So this little device has been a lifesaver. It's simple, it's easy to make, it's just a piece of angle iron that fits on top of a milk crate, and you just put it on like that, and you can, you know, front, and you know that you'll back butter, and you'll be able to position where you dry laid out the tiles. Okay, the glue that I'm using is a rubber added cement modified glue. Oh, my trowel. And is with additives done so that you have the cement, the thin set adhesive goes on very, very smoothly and very, very easily. It's a no slump formula, so that the notches or the runnels that your trowel puts on won't collapse. And it's mixed. I've mixed it up using a machine mixer on the end of my drill. So I've got it roughly the consistency of thick porridge or toothpaste, as some people say. so that it's nice and easy to work with. Only put down as much adhesive as you can comfortably work within a reasonable space of time, depending on temperature, wind, whatever. You don't want to spread a whole area of adhesive and then find that when you're laying your last few tiles that it's gone off, it's dry, and you're getting a dry joint with no adhesion. You want to get, they say, the recommended to Australian standards is internal is 85%, external is 95%. I figure 100% sounds great, and I'm always aiming for 100% coverage, nothing less, because you don't want any voids, you don't want them sounding hollow, and you don't want any chance of when you drop something on a tile that suddenly you've got a crack in the tile because there was a void underneath. Now, just using your trowel, I'm not a fan of knee pads, I like these soft pads. Just using your trowel, get your runs all the one way, nice and smooth, nice and even, so that you know that you've got good coverage with your glue. I find for these tiles about 1 and a bit is fine for the back buttering. I've got the tile like so, and I find this little device is brilliant to allow me to easily back butter, not have to strain, not have to stress, not have to worry about orientation, because I know the orientation. Okay, now we've got our self-levelling, or our levelling, our anti-lippage devices. These I bought from our local hardware Bunnings. I tend to see two different types. There are the wedge type, and there are this, which is the sort of like a zip tie, pull type. The wedge ones come in from the side and lift it up so that it evens out. These ones lift the zip tie down and lift that way. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Your front, you know your orientation. Pick up your tile, put it down, nice and slowly, evenly, drop it in place. A good run both axes so that you know that you've collapsed the troughs and so you know you've got a nice even coverage. Some tilers are not a fan of the crosses and the spaces. I'm not a professional tiler. I like my tiling to look as tight and clean and even and cross so the grout lines run as evenly as possible. So I use these spaces. Every additional piece of help that I can get is a bonus. So I've set the tile in place. Now, before I use the gun to tighten the anti-lippage, I like to, if I can find it, I don't have it here, I use this one. I like to just run, I just like to run an edge so I know there's no problems there, there's no problems there, there's a problem there, and there's a problem there. So I go down, I don't try and use these guys to do all the heavy lifting, because you'll find that it is very, very easy if you try and force them to have them in position there and really ask them to do some heavy lifting, and what happens is that, and then this pulls out and it's totally useless. So you just use them so that you know that they're just there. You get a feel for it. You get a feel for it. And slow and steady wins the race, as they say. Okay, so check again. We've got no lippage problems whatsoever. Okay, on to the next tile. Whoops, bit of glue there. Always keep your bucket and your sponges handy so that you've got it clean. Okay, next tile, you know the orientation that you've laid out. Front, so you position it down. You've got your glue, your thin set, whatever you like to call it. Made it. Okay. So then we just do our back buttering. These guys, I've found the tiles to have a slight bow on the top surface, so a dip in the centre. So I've been back buttering from a central point in the middle of the tile rather than just straight up and down and across, so that in essence I sort of build a bit of a pyramid in the back buttering in the centre of the tile, because I know these are slightly domed. Now we've rotated it once, twice, three times. You know, is it the pea and the shell game? Do you know which way's the front? You've got the front there, so that you can just go like that. Whoops. Whoops, 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 whoops. Okay, some guys like to use a margin trowel. Yeah, I tend to find that takes away a bit more glue than I'm happy with. I just tend to run my finger up and down there. I do tend to get a bit more glue in the grout slots, which takes cleaning. You insert your anti-lippage items. Okay, front, you haven't got to think about it. You know that's front, and you just place your tile. Okay. Crosses, crosses, crosses. My cross to bear. Okay. Okay, so again, all over. Yeah, I've got a bit too much glue, but that's part of my 100% strategy, in that there's no chance that I've missed this slide edge, which you would hope that the grout would go down and fill up and whatever. But, you know, as I said, I'm trying for 100%, so I'm doing everything that I possibly can to get there. So again, bit there. This tile is just a fraction there. So high all round. So let's seed it down a bit more. Sometimes you can look at it and see it by eye, which is possibly what the professionals do who don't use anti-lippaging little devices. I don't know. I'm not a professional tiler, and I'm just doing using every aid that is around that I can possibly use to help me get the best possible job, the most perfect job, so that still I think I can see, there's a bit there, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay, still along that edge. So a good concerted effort, push down. And sometimes by this time you also have to look at using your anti-lippage tool to just slowly pressure it in so that it's doing what it needs to do. And there you've got it. Okay, on to the next tile, and the next tile, and the next tile, and the next tile. As I said, biggest tip I can give you, you can pay somebody else to do it. Pay them to do it, because it's hard yakka. It is hard yakka. It's not difficult. It's not rocket science. It's just, it is physically demanding. It is physically demanding. Be prepared, you can't, you've seen me building the rest of this house and everything. And I'm 62 years old, so I'm feeling my bones. But I'm physically active and fairly strong, but even still, okay, we know that that's the front, we know that's the front, so, yep, that. It still takes a lot of blood, sweat and tears. It's not something that is easy. And, there is no saying that, oh, well, I'll do a better job than the professional tiler. Take it from me, if he's a decent tiler and you pay him a decent amount of money, he's going to do a far better job with his practiced eye and everything than you as an amateur will ever do, after looking at half a dozen of these YouTube videos and saying, oh yeah, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. Don't even think about it. because he will consistently do a better job than you. He will consistently do a better job. But if you have the inclination, and I would only say this, if you haven't done tiling, or you've done a little bit of tiling and whatever, and the cement floor is good and even, it's straight rows up and down, there's not a lot of here, there and everywhere where you have to do a lot of cutting, a lot of planning, a lot of this. Yes, we can do it. But if I wouldn't, in this build, I will get a professional in to do the bathroom. I will get a professional in because it's difficult. There are, you want fall into various different drains, and you want it to look its best, and you're going to sit there on the can and look at it and say, oh, what a shitty job I did, or this or that, or I paid the man and look what a great job it is. Okay, boys and girls, thank you for watching, and I'm back to tiling. Take care, see you soon.